these two bills I'm making tonight. Sorry if I didn't make them earlier, but making them later hours. I made one yesterday. I was trying to make those other videos yesterday, obviously. Just didn't have time. I was too busy playing. So I was done with the Storm Connection storyline, the tire storyline. But anyways, get to meet Roast in the jail with Patrick Hardy's LeBron fanboys. And let's get to it here. I figured the Thunder, like I said, the Thunder were going to stomp LA because it was still showing and no Luka. Also, he's still coming off the injury, obviously, and still dealing with rest. He put up 20 points, but that game, 20 plus points, but it wasn't enough. But yeah, they doubled Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's nephew and all the Thunder, obviously, but it wasn't enough by 20. And that at 5-1 against the Lakers, regular season and postseason combined, North Thunder haven't beaten the Lakers since 2012 still. Almost had the losing streak against an opponent in their cause and in the NBA currently. Now I want to get to these LeBron fanboys, Jalen and Patrick, since y'all LeBron fanboys I obviously know of. LeBron's longevity, longevity is overrated. LeBron's longevity is overrated, Jalen Patrick. Then I'm going to friends and Patrick going to say, how so? Because if LeBron calls himself the GOAT, which he's not, he would have all the records, Jalen Patrick. All the records. I said, how's that so? Because you go back to the ABA, if you know the American Basketball Association, and the NBA records, LeBron's not the greatest athlete of all time. If you're talking about overall position, for his position, yes, but if you're talking about overall position in different eras, he's not the greatest of all time. Because he would have all the records, Jalen Patrick, all the records. I'm going to say all the records. Yeah, all the records, Jalen Patrick. Don't get that bullshit. He would have all the records. He only has 14 of them, but 14 of those records are inflated. But he still hasn't won the title since 2020, and that's going to stay that way. That's 7 years without the title. I think the Thunder are going to sweep the Thunder, going to sweep Thunder in 5. If the Lakers somehow win tonight, which I highly doubt. But Thunder in 5, or if it doesn't have it, Thunder in 4, because Thunder have too much depth. But yeah, they deal with Jay was been out for Portugal. He's still dealing with that hamstring issue. But either way, Thunder in 4 or 5, depending on how this happens. But Thunder in 4 or 5, because Mr. France doesn't realize LeBron's not the GOAT, because if you go back to the previous eras of the ABA NBA merger, that's during the pre-shot clock era before the shot clock was even invented. Then LeBron's not the greatest athlete of all time. Because he would have all the records. Okay, Jalen Patrick, since I'm roasting y'all in this video right now, and this is another video that's coming up after this, me roasting y'all on the. Well, he doesn't have all the records, Jalen Patrick. There's over thousands and thousands of records that LeBron doesn't have, Jalen Patrick. No much Brian gonna say thousands, yeah, thousands. ABA, you forgetting what started the NBA. The ABA started it, as far as the records. Records that LeBron's not gonna catch. As far as the points record, Walter Coltrane still holds that record. Not the greatest scorer of all time. Bale was second on it, was at 83, but that was against a Wizards team that was still in a rebuild, so or it doesn't count, but the points do count. But either way, don't ever say about Miami right now, because Miami haven't made the NBA, Miami, anybody that's a Miami Heat fan or fanboys, pretty much, I don't know what to say about the Miami Heat, but because they haven't been to the NBA Finals since Denver played them. They haven't been to the Denver. No, Miami hasn't been to the NBA Finals since 2020. And that's when they played the Lakers, and the Lakers won that so-called championship. The Lakers and the Heat sure should have been tanked because they thought about drafting some very good young players, and they did draft a few, but it took them that long to find the way of the future for Miami right now. Hey, Carolina Russian MTE with the Super Chat. What's up? What's up? Because the ABA era, if you know all the NBA records and WNBA records, the AWNBA, if you know about that term, started all those records, Jalen Patrick. Don't give that bullshit, Jalen Patrick. Because he would have had, LeBron would have had all the records. Counting the double digit titles, you know, about Bill Russell, he would have had that too, but he ain't going to get that. Bron created super teams. You can't even say Michael Jordan created super teams because Dennis Rodman, he was originally drafted by the Pistons. He chose to go to the Bulls. That was by choice. So he chose to go to the Spurs. That was also by choice. He really didn't have to do it. He did it beyond the money. You know what the NBA nicknames, but either way, you already know what Dennis Rodman's nickname is. The king of controversy. What else is new? What else is new? His birthday is this month. What else is new? What else is new about Dennis Rodman right now? What else is new? They did not create a super team. This is where I roast Jalen Patrick about that narrative. Sorry. Because Steve Kerr, that wasn't his true team for the Bulls. He was originally by Houston. And he won 3 titles with his. He chose to come to the East. And East and come to the bowl. It wasn't because of super team reasons. It was because the Eastern Conference was a better, easier path to get to the NBA Finals compared to the West. That's the reason why Steve Kerr came to the East and to the Bulls. That was the real reason because he still holds the record for most NBA titles, a point guard with 9. While Bill Russell has more with 11. Like I said before, Patrick got nothing to say. Raw fanboys keep changing the narrative. I had to make this bill today. Sorry if I didn't make it earlier. I was just too busy playing earlier today. But either way, give these LeBron fanboys a smoke because I'm tired of Jalen Patrick right now because they keep changing the narrative. I'm tired of clutch too, but I'm tired of them niggas, man. For real. Because if you go back to the NBA merger, hey, Christine Angel, 8392 with the Super Chat, what's up? If you go back to the NBA merger, LeBron's not the greatest athlete of all time. Because there's records that he doesn't have. And there's over thousands and thousands of records that he doesn't have in the NBA merger. I'm Mr. President gonna say thousands, yeah, thousands. Not just the records that they're currently. You forget about the previous era, which is the ABA era. That's the start of the NBA. You big clown, Jalen Patrick. Big clowns. Y'all keep bashing. Y'all keep overlooking generations. That's I'm not saying y'all bashing it, but y'all keep just as bad as bashing it. But either way, y'all keep overlooking. That's not good. Hey, Kayla, C9 2, AI 2, my stomach hurts. Sorry about that, Kayla. C9, 8, C8, the super chat. It's okay. Your stomach will get better. But anyways, like I said, you forget y'all keep overlooking Bill Russell's generation. That's like LeBron's doing right now. But I came for that generation. My girl was from that generation, and my father was a boomer baby. So like I said, because I'm an Aquarius rising and Taurus stomping, but ruled by Uranus and Saturn on my father and grandmother. But my father was the same exact sign as me, ruled by Venus and Mercury. So like I said, these LeBron families got nothing to say. Hey, Kayla, just take some medicine, Kayla, and just take some medicine, and stomach will get better. You probably just dealing with influenza or indigestion, but either way. Anyways, LeBron fanboys keep changing the narrative because, like I said, the Bulls during those days, during my generation, which is a millennial generation, Dennis Rodman was virtually drafted by the Pistons. And then when he had them the 3 titles, or 2, I think it was 2 or 3, I think it was 2, he chose to come to the Bulls. That was before his age and prime was already over. But either way, and he won multiple titles with the Bulls. Same with Steve Kerr, won 6 of them, and then he won 3 with Houston. So it's not a super team. They chose. If you think about overall free agency, it's not about super teams. It's about the teams having the money to sign all players that were still in the middle of their prime and coming to that easier conference because the Eastern Conference is the easier path to get to the NBA Finals. And like I said before, the jail pay, I'm tired of these LeBron fanboys. I'm tired of these Cleveland fanboys because they can't be on the hump of because they have not been the same since the so-called LeBron era. But anyway, I don't say these Cleveland Cavalier fanboys. I don't say about their football team either. Because Deshaun Watson's coming off of 2 torn Achilles, and we don't know if he's going to be the same player. He's the same age as me. Deshaun Watson's birthday is this year, but either way. So we don't know if he's going to be the same player because he tore both his left and right Achilles, and he tore the scapula in both his shoulders, so he's going to be doing a lot of rest. That's 2 years, actually almost 2.5 years gone because of those injuries. So Shedeur Sanders was supposed to be stuck. He made his first Pro Bowl last year. Now he has to wait for a player that's not the same on and try to get Deshaun Watson a chance. And I saw Cleveland's schedule for the football season. It's not easy, but their schedule is the 10th most. It's not easy. It's an easy schedule on there, but it's not easy because they got to play all these NFC teams from every division. So Cleveland might be in trouble, Bubba. Because Deshaun Watson is not going to be the same player. I think a lot of teams on the NFC that had losing records from last season, counting the Giants, but I think the Giants are going to beat the Browns. But it's just that. So I don't know if the Giants have to play the Browns, but I'm guessing based off their schedule. If I looked at their schedule correctly. But they had to play anybody in the NFC East. They're going to be 0-4 against the NFC East because Deshaun Watson's not going to be the same player because they face some of the best defenses in football. Oh, but Dallas' defense will still be the worst of us. I think Cleveland might beat Dallas if they have to play Dallas this season. I think so. But either way, that game is not until later on. But either way, but now that the Ravens made all their moves, we'll see if it's playing. I hope we win the Super Bowl because we got the easiest schedule in football after having a losing record for the first time in nearly a decade. So hopefully the easiest schedule helps us out. But Detroit has the number one most easiest schedule in football because they're in the NFC North until everybody's healthy. There's only issue with Detroit's offense. It's not their offensive woes. It's just their corner is not there. He's still with the Bears as their coach as of now. The reason why the Bears are relevant now. They're probably going to be relevant going forward as Caleb Williams is entering year 3. But anyways, these LeBron fanboys make me sick to my stomach. Like I said before, I don't know what to say to Jalen Patrick right now because if you think about the ABA, NBA, just like, okay, I'll give you a perfect example because the NFL was started by the AFL, you know, the American Football League. You know, all the records, they're men's and women's for both, obviously. The AFL and NFL records. Well, AFL was started by the NFL years later, but the AFL started first. Because the original name for the NFC North, uh, in that division, it was NFC, so I forgot the name specifically. But either way, so as I said, these LeBron fanboys came and say LeBron's to go. LeBron don't want to be GOAT, Jim. I said, LeBron don't want to be GOAT. I said, yeah, because he created super teams, bro. And you know it and I know it. Michael Jordan did not create a super team. He even do what LeBron's so-called influence did, which is a great super team. But Michael Jordan didn't create super team, Joe and Patrick. You forget I came from the South in my millennial generation. I'm ruled by Uranus and Saturn of air and ruled by Venus and Mercury of Earth, which is the same exact zodiac sign as my father. But anyways, he's ruled by both of those on my grandmother's end, which is his mother's end, also a boomer baby. But either way, this is why Joe and Patrick can't debate fathers and Earth because they don't. LeBron doesn't own all the records. There's thousands and thousands of records. Actually, probably hundreds and thousands of records that LeBron doesn't have. Well, Mr. Brian Better gonna say hundreds and thousands of records. So yeah, hundreds and thousands of records. ABA, like I said, ABA NBA merger. When the shot clock wasn't even invented then. Until years later. Same with the NFL, was started by the AFL. NHL was started by the AHL, American Hockey League. Same way with the WNBA, was started by the AWNBA before they became the WNBA, before they took the A out of the AWNBA years ago when they had them expansion teams. So, and they added 2 more expansion teams. The WNBA this season, which is the Portland Torch and the Portland Fire, which is the first time they brought, no, not Portland Torch, Portland Fire. That's the first time they brought that team back since they all the way back when the other players were there back in '99. But anyways, and they added Toronto Tampa, which is the name of their expansion team for the women's. Told you they was gonna do that, and then they're gonna do that for the men's show, but they got nothing on me. LeBron will not play forever. You see, he got LeBron has all that gray in his head, like I said. We already know why LeBron's not to go. He don't own all the records. He only own 14 of them. Well, actually 16 if you count the overall turnovers, regular and postseason combined, and then the overall field goals missed. He owns that record now. That's for half his shots missed. So that's 16 records, but he don't own all the records. Like I said, ABA, NBA merger. Because he don't own all those. There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of records that LeBron, Jalen Patrick, like I told Jalen Patrick, there's a lot of records that LeBron doesn't own. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of records that LeBron doesn't own. What's Jalen Patrick going to say? Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of records. And yeah, hundreds and hundreds of thousands in the ABA. You forget the ABA. You keep overlooking the silent generation all you want. But Bill Russell is the GOAT. Because he set the standard. And his only loss came when he was not the same player he was no more. Only title loss, 11-1. Steve Kerr was 9-0. Jordan was 6-0. Robert Horry 5 and I think it was 5-1 or 5-2, somewhere around there. Same records, Kobe Bryant 5-2 when it comes to the titles. LeBron is 4-6. Still has the most NBA finals all in NBA history. And did it with all with super teams at that, and still couldn't get it done. Let's not forget 2011 either, 2011, 2012 Jalen Patrick, because he lost to Brother Silkins personality. Let's not forget that either. Y'all keep overlooking that shit. Like a loss doesn't matter in the NBA. I tell you right now, if I was playing J Hill and Patrick on Series S right now on 2K, we already know Jail's gonna get dunked on. And I guarantee he gets dunked on. He's a role player. Because J Hill is 5'1", 158 pounds. I'm 5'1", 1/4 inches, 201 pounds. So you already know who's gonna dunk over you here. Joel say, but you run there, you got dunked. That's an NBA fathead edition for you. Because you're a role player. Someone's talking smack. Because all he's going to do is talk smack in 2K. We already know he's going to do it. Same way with Patrick, too. 5'9", so going to do. At least he has more weight than Joel does. But either way, I have more weight than you now. But either way, I clocking and rocking in Patrick's way. That was nothing to me. So supposedly I pass her or shoot her. I just choose not to shoot. I pose to pass. Supposed to be a passer in 2K. I pay for the bills, like I said, but I choose not to shoot. I supposed to shoot. I choose not to shoot. I choose to clock it and rock it. So, in block shots and if I'm not shooting or not. But either way, we already know Patrick and Joe are not hyped in 2K, especially in basketball. I pay for the bill, so you can't say cheated. Same way in golf when I come playing for the golf bill. Cheated my ass, Joe and Patrick. Don't want to hear that. Especially when they had the best bills from the greatest athletes of all time in our current era in the NBA and golf right now. But anyways, like I said, me and Tiger Woods, well, it still stands. I had to clear this court case, obviously, and I had to clear this mental therapy thing, the 90-day mental therapy, obviously. But we have Tiger Woods sober now, eating with meds. What else is new? What else is new? So when Tiger Woods healthy, Steph Curry. Because, like I said, Ron's longevity is overrated. Because you don't own all the records. ABA, NBA merger. Titles. The most titles, you don't have that record. Don't have the points record in terms of overall points in a game. Don't have that record. And all the other records I can't think of all of them, but it's over hundreds and hundreds of thousands of records that Ron doesn't own. I must have run in the budget goes hundreds and thousands. I said, you did your research? Did you do your research? Yeah, I did. Positive research on that too, Jalen Batcher. You got nothing on me right now. So Ron is the wannabe GOAT. He will never catch 60. You damn sure won't catch 11. You know it and I know it. So me and Tiger Woods stands tall when it comes to be honest, his influence. Because I did to LeBron in 2001. If you saw that short I made on KBH podcast for a while ago, my Hall of Fame players in golf versus LeBron's so-called Hall of Fame, I outdone LeBron in 2001 and 2005. You know what those athletic properties is. Now I did Diamante when it came to my height and weight classes. And Diamante can call me carrot in the sports industry or not, but you can't even beat it in wrestling if you tried. You're 500 pounds, bub. You gained all that weight. You wasn't that weight then. You gained all that from eating. Healthy or not, but if you got the title in the wrestling, I still beat you. Because your weakness as a 500-pound guy, your chest is not muscle. It's a gut. You're built like a bear keg. Even with all that height you have, pun intended. If somebody can slam me or choke slam me or slam you to the table, then you won't even see it coming from me. You will see it coming from me. That's instant replay if you know about 2K. Instant replay. I choke slam Dale Martin to a table. That was nothing to me in the game. Nothing to me. I did what the Big Show was already known for that in his prime. Did what King was already known for that. Brother Six President done in his prime. Choke slams to a bigger guy. So much they want to call him so tall and mighty. So much to call him so tall and mighty. Took that title away from him. You underestimate people because of weight. I told you you underestimate people because of weight classes. I'm not underestimating you as a wrestler with that weight, but your weight is not muscle. That's a gut. Mine is all natural weight. Yours is somewhat natural, but it's not truly natural if you gained all that weight. A dog gets beat by Naruto. I don't know about that in wrestling. Sorry, that ain't an accident. Because your weight is going to be the one thing that haunts you in an Extreme Rules match. In a last man standing, your chest is in black, guaranteed. Once your chest is black, you're going to be able to slip to the finish like when Winston come home from work. So I know damn all these Winston coming home from work. I'm almost sure of it. Now you're officially that weight. Now you're going to be Winston coming up them steps. Even all that height you have, pun intended. And let's say you're not Winston, you're lying to yourself, damn all saying you're not Winston. Going up them steps with all that weight, boy. I'll tell you that right now. You need to lose some of that weight, bub. I mean that. Sorry. You should not be 500 pounds in this era. No, we got more than 80% of the people in this era that are mortally obese. And you're one of those 80%, and that's not good. You wasn't in that 80%, but now you are in the 80 percentile. As of now. So you need to lose some of that weight, or you're going to end up dealing with health problems later on in life. Severe health problems. I'm talking about being more, you're already flat-footed on your feet. Now I'm sure you're going to be more flat-footed because of that weight. And you won't be able to walk the same. But like I said, these LeBron fanboys let me salty right now because, like I said, Michael Jordan did not create super teams. But why people say he did that, and that's a lie. You don't have the evidence to back that up. Because like I said before, because Michael Jordan's story as far as his kids is darker than you think. He alienated one of his kids, though, one of his sons. His son's doing good right now, so it's not the issue. Other son is doing good, but he's doing other things. And his daughter's doing fantastic, working with sponsors and everything else. But one of his sons, he alienated because his son kept disrespecting him. So that's how Michael Jordan's story is dark as far as one of his sons. Other son is doing good. The other one is doing good, but he's not doing good. He disrespected his father, so he alienated him. It's down to his other son and daughter that he made on this earth. But either way, so like I said, these LeBron fanboys make me sick to my stomach. But I don't know what to say to these niggas, bro. Because Bron on all the records, ABA, NBA merged and men's and women, and if he was a woman too, or woman foot father, he would now on the WAWNBA records, even though the one is in that category. But anyways, he now on the records. Like I said, there's thousands of records he would not catch. Because me if Tiger Woods was healthy once I quit his court case, most of them probably get apart from this court case. Stanford Cardinal is back. Well, different console. Bitches in there. Just want to get this video out, but part 2 of me, Ross and Jail Impact, that's coming out after this video. But this video's going to be a long way because these LeBron fanboys going to be sick to my stomach. I don't know what to say to these niggas, bub. Because these LeBron fanboys think LeBron is the so-called good of all time. I said not, but if you're talking about North American sports. Because what you've done in those eras is what defies you. And like I said before, one ring gets you into the Hall of Fame. One ring gets you into the Hall of Fame. Just one. Now, if you're chasing Jordan and Bill Russell, then you can do it, depending on your position. If you're a point guard or a combo guard or a point guard. Like I said before, Jordan set that standard, Bill Russell set that standard. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Dale Earnhardt Sr., the most titles in NASCAR was 7, tied with Richard Petty and Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, I think Jimmy Johnson was on that list. I could be right. I think he's second on that list with 7. But either way, he's tied with Dale Earnhardt Sr. Richmond for the most titles on that. And there's 6 other. It's that won 6 NASCAR Sprint Cup titles. Several other drivers. And some of them are tied with 5 and 4, and then the rest of them are tied with 3, 2, or 1. Like I said, 1 gets you into the Hall of Fame. Like I said, 1, just 1. If you did what Dale Earnhardt Sr. did, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. was winning his first 3, and then did what Richard Petty and Jimmy Johnson did before he did retire years ago, then you are the undisputed GOAT of all time. Okay, I'll give you another perfect example. In the NHRA, John Force set the standard for winning the most NHRA track races of all time. I don't know how many he's won, but I know he's won a lot and won a lot of NHRA titles. His daughter's trying to follow his path at least, so trying to follow his path at least, so that's a good thing. Matt Schumacher, before he had that dragster issue with his drag to the point he had scars on his chest and his body, he almost came close not to finish his NHRA career, but he won multiple NHRA titles, even with those scars on his leg and his thing on part of his ribs. But either way, he still won those races and he won the NHRA titles despite all those injuries. So much for that too, Jalen Patrick. Them niggas got nothing on me right now. You find a way around it, less with more. So, okay, I'll give you another perfect example. Michael Phelps, like I said in my previous bill from last year, he set the standard because of most gold medals and most total medals. Everybody's chasing that record still. Okay, I'll give you another perfect example. Usain Bolt. Let's not forget about that Jason and Jenny either. He still holds most records for the fastest times, and he's Jamaican, and he's not even in another sport, and he did that. Because he did it in track and field and other parts of track and field, pun intended. He was a basketball player. That'd have been the Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan bill because of his great athletic of a dunker, shot blocker, and a passer, and a shooter, and a true scorer, 2,000-point scorer, and 2K bond in there. And from Jamaica, but either way. Okay, give me another perfect example. Michael Jordan and Bill Russell. Bill Russell himself. And he wasn't the greatest forward and center of all time, and still won double-digit titles. Okay, I'll give you another perfect example then. We have Tiger Woods, who won 15 majors, and was still chasing John still, who has 18 still. Bill Russell set the standard, like as I said, what Jalen Patrick overlooks my generation of Simon Malone, and y'all some clowns for that. Because it's just bad one of my family that's not necessarily bashing it. Sorry. Had to mention that. It's what it is. Either way. So, like I said before, LeBron's not the goal if no more overall sport athletes. Okay, I'll give you another perfect example. Who's had held them wins from last year. Never recorded from the year before, had 6 wins in 2024. She set the standard, and that was an LPGA Tour record. No, but the golf person identified as a girl, but either way. And then she had 3 wins this year and 3 wins last year. She had all them top 10 finishes. That's what she had some honest injury issues. Not like serious, but minor injury minor injury issues. Either way, 12 total wins in the past 3 years. That's still impressive. Bill Russell-esque, but then set the wins record with six. I said seven, 6 wins. Had 2024 for us. That's 12 wins, and that's almost 18 wins total. Almost like 20. She's chasing to be on the LPGA in terms of the women, in terms of the overall golf wins. So she's chasing Annika Sorenstam. And I highly doubt she gets to that person that has the most wins with 88. I highly doubt she gets to that record. Because every quarter, my person will have to play until she's 60 or 70 just to break that record. To get to 90 wins in golf in the LPGA. She was price credit known by that. Credit to controversial known by that. That's the record I was chasing in golf. Credit to controversial known with 91. And the person that has the most LPGA total wins with 88. She died on Christmas Eve. I forgot her name. LPGA golf. I know who she is. She was the LPGA. I forgot, but she died on Capricorn season. That was the records I was chasing. If it wasn't for my height, weight classes, and interest in actual weight loss, pun intended, and injuries, pun intended, if you know about certain injuries, not severe injuries, but injuries enough. But either way, that was the records I was chasing. So it was beyond me of Tiger Woods' wrong. I was influenced by the records I was chasing. That would have got to by now if it wasn't for my height and weight class to get in the way of that. And push limits beyond limits. I was not human in golf. Unlike LeBron, he is human like Thanos in Marvel. So-called God in Marvel and the NBA. Boy, please, Jalen Betcher. Boy, please. He on all the ABA, NBA records. And there's a lot of them that he will not catch and break. And there's a video on the channel called Mojo Plays on YouTube that showed the top overall records that hold by North American sport athletes. Top 100 records. There was a video for that on Guinness World Records on YouTube. That's the actual name of the channel. They got almost 4 million subscribers on that channel. 4 million subscribers, that's a lot, big to win. So if you sell those two channels, you can follow those channels too. It'll show you who has the most overall records in North American sports. Show all the overall they have the most overall North American sport either tied with them, or have the most, or tied with the most, or broken in years past or years later. Then you'll see what I'm talking about. Why LeBron's not the GOAT. Okay, I'll give you another perfect example. Tom Brady, despite the cheating or not, Michael Jordan in football, and Patrick Mahomes, he set that standard with 3 Super Bowls. Lamar has nothing. And then it's Josh Allen. He's the next Michael Jordan. He's up there. Yeah, he may have won the MVP, but he made more playoff runs than Lamar has. Jalen Patrick, way more playoff runs. I know Jalen Patrick gonna say everybody has a 6'6" man, and you forgetting there's heights that goes past that. Clowns and idiots. What Jalen Patrick say? Most of the height they got either from the father or the mother. Not just from the father and mother, yes, that too, but the ancestors, if you know about royalty. Because I could tell you why Josh Allen would already had a Super Bowl if he didn't run the Patrick Mahomes line. Otherwise, Patrick Mahomes would already had 6 Super Bowl rings on his finger. Then he could have retired right then and there. He was already in the Hall of Fame either way. And he was unanimous. Beyond the gold, that was beyond true gold. That was whatever they call that color for the other gold color, but that's true gold because he outdone Lamar, bub. Patrick Mahomes is a Michael Jordan form. No receivers or not. I know Mr. Ryan's gonna say no receivers though. I said even no receivers, he's still getting passing yards, breaking records like it's not still. He ain't without Tyreek Hill. He still was breaking records still. And that was some of the worst offensive lines they had in football in years on the Chiefs then. And now they got one of the worst defenses in football. They're back to one of the worst defenses in football, despite taking a corner in this. They traded for a corner in that draft class, this year's draft class. They didn't draft the left corner. They drafted the right corner. They didn't draft the left corner. They lost both their corners to the Rams in the trade. And now the Rams were able to get first-round draft capital from that because Kansas City gave that up. They had to trade for that because Kansas City didn't have no draft capital. First-round draft, they had to trade for that pick just to get that right nickel corner to replace Trent McDuffie. Now, the left nickel corner, they need to address that in free agency if you're a Chiefs fan because they're going to be the worst second. They're going to get cut up in that division. They're not even the favorite to win the Chiefs, not even the favorite to win the division because Patrick Mahomes is going to be out for most of this season. As me and Jill agree on because he's doing a torn ACL and MCL. I know the friends that's a serious. He's faking the injury. No, he's not. That's a torn ACL and MCL, which you need that to walk. That's not a fake. That's real, especially when you tear 2 collateral ligaments. No, Jill's gonna say how you know that because it's a channel I call channel that I follow on These Frontiers too. You saw my channel that has all my sport sources, all of my fitness sources, and everything else as well. Look at the channel called Brian Sarmento with Joe and Pat. That's the channel that follows when it comes to mortality injuries, and they tell you how to get it fused and surgery fixed and scoped and everything else. That's the name of the channel, Brian Sarmento. And he's a doctor that talks about all the severe injuries that can happen to any part of your body, inside or outside of it. But either way, Patrick Mahomes is the Michael Jordan of football. And me of tackle is the Michael Jordan of golf, like me and John here. Because he was on to win 2 3-peats in majors. And Roy Jones, golf person, now it took him that long to even win it. And the last person to do that was me in 01 and 2002. It took Roy this long. And then he's been in and out of tournaments. Trauma-versal, you know about Roy Elroy right now. Trauma-versal. Take the word con of it, add trauma-versal. The word trauma is trauma-versal. Because John's golf person said, never gets old with Roy, man. Never gets old with Roy because he keeps pulling out the tournaments that he needs to win just to either get in the top 50 and wins, PGA and wins, and he can't get that because he keeps skipping tournaments. The important to count the team one. He even played the team one. You know, somebody was going to cook his ass, cook Roy's ass. You damn right he was going to cook you either way. You don't like that smoke. You don't like that smoke right now. Either way. And I told these were bar fanboys, man. But Michael Jordan did not commit no super team. I want to hear that from Joe Patrick. Then Miss Frank's going to say all the records that Lamar has now in there said his longevity is overrated, Joe. But his longevity is overrated. You know, all the NBA, I just told you, ABA, NBA merging. Much with the key overlooking everybody else's generation, because the two I represent on my end, pun intended. The ABA NBA set the standard for all those records. And there's over thousands and thousands, over hundreds of thousands of records that Ron's not going to catch. He would have played until he's 80 years old to do it. He would not do it. But almost so much a bigger body, taller body can take weight-wise and age-wise before his body tells him to stop playing in the NBA. And he can't even guard the same players he used to play in the NBA because when he used to guard those players, he did do them chase down. He can't even do them chase down. LeBron can't even do them chase down blocks with the way he used to do in years past. So this was a long rant, obviously, but just want to give these LeBron fanboys part 2 of the videos coming up shortly. Obviously, just want to give these LeBron fanboys some smoke because, like I said, we don't know who Michael Jordan and Bill Russell are. Like I said before. And I said it, I reiterated on my videos last year, even the year before last and the year after when I had my old YouTube channel. If I was at the best record, I had to check it from time to time, keep it from being unactive because I did have almost 100 subscribers on that channel before Henny Dunn gave me those copyright strikes. I said, who else did it? And if it wasn't you, then who did it? Because there's somebody in my audience gave me copyright strikes, so who else did it? It wasn't in my audience. It had to be Henny. It couldn't be nobody else. So you gonna lie to me, Henny, on that too? But anyway, so these LeBron fanboys, man. I don't know what to say to these niggas, man. I don't know what to say to these niggas because Bar's still chasing 6 and 1. He will never get to those records. No matter how many he tries to call himself breaking, he'll never get to them hundreds and hundreds of thousands of the NBA records that he'll chase anytime soon. You know, Mr. President Patrick gonna say hundreds and hundreds of thousands of records. Y'all need to do your research. For real. There's a lot of records that LeBron's not gonna catch anytime soon. I'm telling you that right now. And you know why to that. As I said before, because he's not going to break all the records. There's so many he would have to break, but he can't break them all. I'm telling you that right now. Either way, like I said before, LeBron's not the GOAT. And I think if the Thunder beat them tonight, the series is over. Thunder in 4 or 5. Thunder in 4. Mr. Francis going to say, Patrick going to say Lakers in 4. I said, nah. The Lakers in 5 is what you meant to say, Joe Patrick, but that ain't happening. They haven't beaten the Thunder since 2012, but that's 14 years ago. LeBron was still so-called young in the league, and I was entering my prime. Taekwondo then still in that era. Like I told these LeBron fanboys, Joe Patrick got nothing on me in this industry. They got nothing on me right now. Nothing on me. I know more than them. Joe Patrick knows more than me. Because Mr. Frank going to say 40. 60 total, 1,000 points regular season, and posting in blocks and rebounds and assists. Okay, since you want to bring that up, Joe, I'll bring that up right now. Kobe Bryant, you know, he started in the NBA in postseason points. You add up all his points, rebounds, assists, and total blocks and assists, it's 50,000 points. And then you add up all Jordan's ones, which always at 50,000 points. The 100,000 points between is an NBA record between Drew Jason and Jenny combo guys. And both of them were unanimous Hall of Famers in the top 75 in 2021. You know, Mr. President, how are they unanimous? Because they played a different position. and they were true scores. Not LeBron's selfish self. And LeBron's not even a good parent either because his son Bronny sucks. I know they're gonna say LeBron is the most postseason wins with his son Bronny. I said that's not true. 2 wins don't count. On Bronny, Bronny's still a bum just like JL is in 2K. Sorry, that's a fact. Sorry. I would beat JL in 2K on basketball and series. I would beat him. So I would beat him in golf. Because I would know I beat Patrick's dumb self on 2K on series. As I would beat Patrick on golf too. He couldn't compete with me. And I know if I was playing basketball against them niggas right now, I would cook both NBA 2K27. Severe hater edition for them niggas right now. And Joe Bennett, only two LeBron fanboys I know are severe haters of LeBron's so-called greatness. You know. So, like I said before, LeBron is not the GOAT. If you're talking about overall positions in the NBA, which is the position that he obviously plays, obviously he's not the greatest athlete of all time. North American sport athlete of all time. Michael Jordan still stands at the top for that. And then me and Tiger Woods on that list. Hell, even John Scott pushing is on that list. So overall, and even Michael Phelps, Jimmy Johnson, Richard Petty, Dale Hart Sr., and Jr., if you count his son too, they have 10 titles between the two. Almost Bill Russell has almost 10 titles combined between the two. So, like I said, those are the people that were greatest North American sports before the unfortunate deaths. I told you about the death, it's not a gimmick. But you want to think it is, it's not. Especially in any of sports or music, pun intended, especially when we have music deaths, especially early, or they died early or died later on, either from health issues or whatever, how it happened. But either way, death is not a gimmick deal, as much as you want to think it is. It's like you thinking the sports covers copy and paste, and it's not. If you're really starting making these 2K golf games and basketball and wrestling games, especially the current athletes that made the games for years, that's not copy and paste. Think about the previous cover and the current cover. It evolved, not the same cover. Because the whole bunch of gaming covers on those 2K basketball and wrestling and baseball games and the EA Sports baseball games, the evolution of the covers evolved. Like I said, and they're not the same covers. They're different ones. You know that. So, dear mother, don't give me that bullshit right now. I know more sports than you here. Especially when it comes to your height and weight classes. I know your weaknesses and strengths. Just like I know that the copying, just like the covers, like I said, are not copy and pasted. So you're starting the covers from scratch. Especially when they make the overall athletes that are on the cover for the first time. They really started from scratch. Damn, you cannot debate me on that there. That's not copy and paste. I told you in one of my videos, several of my videos from all 4 months from this year, and most of last year, if you can't write, you can't draw. People say, how rude? I said, no, it's what it is. If you can't write actual simple words neatly, you can't draw actual sports cards. So let's say you on that too, out there on that. But anyways, okay, guys, I end the video right there. Long, right, obviously. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video. These Rosen, Jalen, Patrick, whatever that's coming up after this. Obviously, give you my YouTube links. KBH Podcast, Unique Hutch, News Frontiers 2, give you my TikTok, Living Clean 3. I got rid of my other TikTok, but I had a lot of followers on it. I was approaching my following limit anyways, so down to my one TikTok, so Living Clean 3. You know to find me on Twitch, Cyber11, Give Hutch, Sick Furry King, and whoever account. That's all 4 of my Twitches, pretty much. This case, my main Twitch gets compromised, but anyway. Notify all 4 of my Twitches, Gamer Hutch 6, Furry King, so ready to kill Raw, obviously. And you notify me on PlayStation on PS4, but I haven't played on the PS4 in over a month. Since I finished all my games in the first 3 months alone. It's been a while. And I'm saying that for Series S start in June, because I'm 8 generation ended as of April 8th still. So glad to say for Series S. But you know what I find on PSN? As a glory to Furry Kingdom, Spin 64, those are all three of my PSN. Notify me on both my Microsoft accounts. Alpha 4859, Retro Figure, those are my only 2 Microsoft. They'll link the Series S once I get that console start saying up for it starting in June. But anyways, getting that console soon, guys. It's soon enough. It's got to start saying up for it starting in June. I might get one more Sony controller, because my current Y1 is dying right now because of the button drift. The light on the controller still comes on, just that the buttons are acting up, the add-ons are acting up, so I had to get another wired controller off of Amazon soon. But anyways, that'll be my final Sony controller as far as the wired one. And I'll throw my other one away. Because it still works as the buttons coming off, and then the analog stick little witch collar coming off, got wear and tear. So, might get another wire control. That'll be my final song. But anyways, notify me on Facebook. That's my whole name spelled back. You'll see the Heaven and Hell AI art. But you notify me on Messenger Life. It's S. McGorry too, and it's my same, but my whole name spelled backwards on that too. You notify me on Google Play. That's the Stephen Hut 56. You notify all my Gmails, all three of my Gmails, or actually all four, kind of one that resurrected at the Heritage for so long. Obviously, you notify me on Yahoo Sports. If you find me on my emails, then you notify me on that. You notify me on Google. As far as the meets and everything, if you want to talk to me on Google Meet, you can in chat. As long as keep the chat going. Obviously, you notify me on Discord. I had to figure out how to get back in my Discord because my current Discord might have been compromised because my old phone number was one, so I made to make a new Discord. So you can find me on Discord as well once I account or accounts, so I don't know how many I make. But anyways, so you guys in the video right there. So stay tuned for my part 2 video of me roasting Jalen Patrick in the sports industry. This was a long way, obviously. So stay tuned. You got all my links for PS and you got all my accounts for both Microsoft and on Series S, put intended. You know, if I'm all three on PSNs, put intended. You got all my which come from Facebook and Instagram. Oh yeah, I gotta get my Instagram. I almost forgot about that. Hachi Konami and account to my merch meta one on IG. So both my Instagram, you know, if I'm on that too, put intended there. And that's it, guys. But stay tuned for part 2 of the Bill Me Roasting Jalen Patrick Rose LeBron fan. We'll do that part 2 video coming up tonight. And then I'll probably make a video tomorrow showing off my tablet that I just got from a couple of days ago. I'll show you my tablet later on tomorrow. Like, cause I pick up my meds tomorrow first, and then when I come back, then I'll make that video. I was gonna show off my tablet looks like my on that name of the tablet is on. I was like, but okay, guys, I in the video. Excuse me, I burnt down, whoever that was. I was like, so okay, guys, in the video right there. But part 2 of the video of me roasting jail parents that's coming up shortly. Yeah. Deuces.